So this is the agenda for today's meeting. So basically, the 1.1 release, 1.104 release, and a quick update about ham charts. If you have anything else that you want to discuss, feel free to add to this agenda. Otherwise, I feel like this will be a short meeting. So the first thing is the 1.1 release plan, which we are is already in effect. We have created a release 1.1 branch, and all the 1.1 development should happen in the release branch. We're still targeting to cutting the release by sometime this month, hopefully before Thanksgiving. So that gives us around 2 weeks before we can cut this release. The goal is to stabilize release as soon as possible, and we still have a bunch of issues. If you look at GitHub, we still have a bunch of 1.1 issues that we need to resolve. Right, we still have around like 17 P0 items. If you are looking for contributing, feel free to take a look at any of this. But it's possible that we may not be able to get to every single P0 before, well, in this 2 weeks, and we may end up triaging some of this to 1.2. Any question about 1.1? Okay. And then as for and the second topic is 104. As we actually have some customers and users have found problems in 103, so we are targeting a 104 sometime this month as well. If you look at the 1.0 issues, we still we have two P0 issues. One of them is a performance regression. Mixer unfortunately uses more CPU in 103 than 102. That is something we will address in 104. And the other issue is a port failing, which is also new in 103, I believe. So would you still consider replacing Hypercube image with Istio slimmer cube?
Yeah, I put that on. I don't know what. For background, I come from Pivotal. I've been working on Knative, and we use Istio as a dependency. I'm kind of getting looped into sort of figuring out how to do compliance and all that. So as part of that, we saw that one of the post-delete hooks is using an old Hypercube image. So I was just wondering, one, like I can make the PR to update it for 1.1. Would that be something like, what is the tolerance to accept that for potentially maybe even getting it 1.04? This isn't like a priority, but it's just more of me like just asking the question.
Great. So 104 is going to be a patch release, and in patch release, we only want critical bug fixes. So for the other non-critical behavioral change, that probably should be done in 101 instead.
Okay.
Unless this is super critical.
I don't know what you define as critical. Like I think,
but like, slimmer is just a footprint problem, right?
I think the other thing too is the other image is really old and out of date, so you can maybe throw in like it's a security thing. But it's a post-delete hook, right? So it's just a one-off errand or job. So I'm fine to punt this to 1.1, and I can make like a PR. I think it's already even there. So
okay.
Yeah. So it's a non-issue though.
Okay.
So how is Hypercube used? It's not used by average user, right? It's a one-time thing, maybe running by one of our jobs.
Yeah, it's a post delete hook to clean up the secrets, and then
Okay.
the subsequent 1.1 release has changed it to use an Istio image that has kubectl only, and it's much slimmer.
Okay, so yeah, it's probably not very critical for most of users then.
No, not at all. So yeah, thanks.
Great. Any other questions about 104? So if not, the third topic is about harm charts. So harm charts are now built along with daily releases and monthly releases as well. For daily releases, they can be found in this stable location. So you can, I think you can install them directly from this URL, and this URL, the files at this URL gets updated every day. And for that reason, I actually have removed the old static charts from Istio.io because they were built from some ham config maybe a couple of weeks ago, and they get out of date very easily. Now we have a more reliable way to get the charts.
So does this include all the dependencies too? Okay, I saw the CNI.
Yeah.
So as a user, when they install the charts, they're not going to need to run ham dependency command because you have this all resolved. You have the dependency all resolved in istio-1.1.tgz. Is that correct?
Right. Supposedly, yes.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. David, can we talk about this as well?
Yeah, I've been asking a few questions, but ultimately, I saw that we have license collectors for the Go source, and I noticed that we're not including in the Istio containers the proper copyright and licenses for the Envoy and its dependencies. At least that, I don't see it. So one question I have is anyone actively working on to include that? If not, then that's something that I know Pivotal is interested in helping, and is that then something that you would want me to contribute back? For example, a tool that potentially does some Bazel queries and then scans the necessary repos for licenses.
Sure. I am actually not aware of anybody working on this one.
I think Steve Dake, you probably want to in touch with him. I believe he had a tool to collect every single license and copyright, and that's how we generate the aggregated license file. We might have missed Envoy because the source code of Envoy is not necessarily in here, or maybe just because it wasn't written in Go. So it would be great to actually have this contribute to the community.
I see. Yeah, I saw Steven's changes to, let's say, the Istio CNI repository, and it uses the underlying license gem scanner. I was just wondering if anyone was looking into this for the Envoy source. Yeah.
So I think the existing aggregated license was created from Martin some time ago using yet another license collector or aggregator. I believe Steven has something else, and it produces a slightly different result. I don't know if we have adopted it, but both of them get licenses from the underlying Go source code only. So Envoy is probably excluded. And if you can contribute, I think that would be great. But it would be great if you can in touch with both Stephen and Martin.
Okay. Do you mind adding their names to the doc? I think I've reached out to Stephen.
Sure.
Steve Dake.
Yes.
Yeah, Steve Dake and Martin.
Roasted.
Yeah. So I guess it would be nice to have this as a Istio, a Istio repository project somewhere, or utility, because it would be useful to collecting license for common projects within Istio, because we also have CNI now. So we could have multiple projects within the Istio org that needs such a tool.
Great. David, what is your GitHub handle?
DPROTASO.
Okay.
I don't know what I'll be able to contribute. I'm only on this for a few more days in terms of sorting out compliance. So we'll see. We're gonna see if there's a way to automate it in the time frame that I'm around for this. I know, like, for at least Bazel has a query option that can at least give you all the dependencies for a build target. So maybe that is a potential start.
Martin's GitHub.
I can look it up.
So I guess to clarify, Martin originally wrote the Go tool for scanning the Go source, and then
Yeah. He's a person. Yeah.
I think he got majority part of it from Kubernetes.
Okay. Yeah, when it's all Go, it's much simpler.
Right. I'll figure out his GitHub handle.
It is Ostromart. OSTROMART.
MART.
RT. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Cool.
So Andy, back to the Helm charts question. So these are just pre-releases, but eventually they would goes to, would they go to somewhere under the static chat location somewhere, and
Yes.
eventually to Istio.io?
So, oops. Where's the date? Is it the daily release? Right. Supposedly we'll go to something like 1.1.0/charts as well.
I see. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And
So
then-
instead of pre-release, it's release and releases the actual LTS of monthly release.
But in the actual release, does people still have to point to the Google storage to add that as a repository? I'm trying to think out, what are the repo add command they need to do with Helm for the official release? Is this the right URL they need to add? Or because
Yes.
this URL is a little bit undesirable because it has so much contents in here. Because we have pre-release and all the release contents in here too. Like if you look at a Helm repository, they typically have a stable folder and it has all the stable charts, and then they have also like
they just
unstable one.
supposedly they just need to replace this with the actual version. So this is the part that changes.
Yeah, but there's also a search function that people could search a particular repository and see what are the charts in there. So do you want them to have a different URL for every single release? I guess that's one of my question too. Or would you, I think from a user perspective, I'd rather add one single URL that would cover multiple releases down the road, because I think that's how it works for some of the other charts, right?
So how do you put multiple versions in the same directory?
Well, so what they have is they have a top directory, and then they have a stable folder that hosts the stable charts, and then they have like a developmental folder that has unstable charts, and then within that top folder, there's a search function. You can search for charts in the repository, and then I think you just need to add the top repository folder. That's a typical experience people deal with Helm. Is instead of every
Right.
single version of charts, you know that you don't have to drill into every single detail repository. I'm just trying to, you know,
So-
have us have a common repository structure as the community Helm charts ones.
That can be done. I think for now, I just try to mimic whatever we had on Istio.io before. But if there is a standard way to set up this directory structure and put all the charts in the same location, that can be done as well.
Yeah, let me send you an example if I can find one, so you know an idea, or you know what I'm talking about on some of the common ones people set up.
Okay. So yeah, if you send me some information, I can follow up.
Okay, thanks much.
All right. And David, do you want me to create an issue for this, or?
Let me reach out to Steven and the other person first. I don't know I'll see what I can do, and then it depends on the time.
Okay.
So if I, let's say, make lots of progress quickly, I'll probably make an issue. Then I would imagine that's something to contribute. But I'm essentially going to time box this, and ultimately, in the worst cases, I might just list out the dependencies to scan manually and hand that off to like a compliance team here. So if I can automate some of that collection, then I'll contribute it. If not, then yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's probably a good idea to create an issue anyway. If for some reason we left out Envoy, is something we should address as well.
Yeah, let's give him credit.
Definitely.
Yeah, so let me create an issue anyway, and then either you or somebody else can pick it up.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Tiago, do you have anything to add?
No, nothing from my side.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anybody else? Any other things that you want to talk about?
Oh, quick question.
Yeah.
Where do you see that Zen Hub tab? Do I need to be like a member in Istio in order to see the POs and all that stuff?
Oh, you actually will need to install SendHub.
I see.
It's just a Chrome extension.
Okay, cool. I'll take a look at it. Thanks.
And it automatically work with your GitHub login. So okay. So I think that should be it. Oh.
Hey folks. I was late at the meeting. Did you discuss 1.1 already?
Yes. So we are working toward 1.1, and the plan is to cut the 1.1 release in around 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So there are around 13 P0 issues at this point, and we should close them out as much as possible. For those that cannot be closed, they probably will be pushed out to 1.2.
Okay. Is it another LTS release?
Yes,
Just like 1.0?
1.1 will be an LTS release.
Oh, nice. So we'll have 2 branches, or 1.1 will deprecate 1.0.
So we already have the release 1.1 branch, and all the 1.1 development will happen in the release 1.1 branch, and the branch was cut from master around 2 weeks ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they are it already diverged from release 1.0.
So I mean, once 1.1 is released, we are still going to provide patches for 1.0.
So at this point, we know that we will be creating 1.04, and around the same time frame as 1.1. After 1.1 is created, whether we will be creating batch release on 1.0 depends on whether we find another critical bugs in 1.0.
Okay, makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Any other question? All right. If not, that's all for today. Thank you, everyone. See you guys next time.
Cool. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.